we are going to discuss the topic on JavaScript validation from the course Object-Oriented Programming Language. So let us have a recap with a few icebreaking questions. You have to identify the invalid form of input from the given screenshot of HTML form, and you take 2 minutes to guess how the form can be validated. So the form, it has the 4 fields: last name, first name, and the gender with the email. Either you have to fill out the form, or you may try giving with the wrong inputs. So when you are not filling the form with the proper entries, then it may create a validation error. Also, when you make any improper input, also it gives the validation error. So this is a sample exercise to understand the basic HTML form and its input. And here the learning objective is to two learning objectives are: only is to the importance of form validation and the difference between the client side and the server side validation. So here you see the validation, it has email ID and the password. So when you see the email ID, it has the email name and followed by the domain extension and the @ symbol. So these things, these characters has to be validated first in the email ID, then followed by the password. Password has set of constraints and the length of the password and the cases, what kind of uppercase case, lower case, or the other special symbols. So with this, the password has to be validated. So let us take the problem statement of a situation where we can see that the web developer who is designing a sign up form, and how the sign up can be validated. So the users often click the submit button without properly filling the form, or they may give an incorrect information or a wrong syntax of information. So here the challenge is to ensure the accuracy of the data what the user is giving. So let us take the simple empathy of persona, like the person who is filling the form. If it is a long form, he may find a frustration because it may have so much of things to fill it up, and it creates a lot of confusion, and patience also is there. And the need is to get the instant feedback once if the form is properly filled, or overall after filling the form, if the person is receiving any kind of feedback or opinions. So here the expectation is to have a smooth submission. So here you can see that after filling the form, it is a 5-star rating. It has been asked, the user experience, it has been asked for the feedback. So the next thing is to define the core problem, the data accuracy and poor user experience. The goal is to have a real-time feedback and error prevention using that. So you can see that error page where this 404 error, if it comes when the validation is incorrect, or the validation is facing some issues, it may lead to error page. So how this experience is done by the students, so they have to explore it. That is the empathy stage. And in the ideation stage, how the HTML5 version is doing the validation, and what kind of contextual error is being faced, and how the JavaScript errors are detected. So if you see the bigger form, as much as many fields are used, and each fields are explained with the description before filling it up. And so if any one of the entries, suppose if any one entry, if it has been properly mistyped or missed out, it will create the validation error. So here the prototype of a simple form, sign up form with the form submit button, validation code, and with the written statement. So here it is given, and in the tooltip or the informations also it is popped out whenever you fill every field of the text boxes. So the prototype here, it is to if you see that email, there could be a lot of symbols, like the password could be in 8 characters, and one must be uppercase, and there should be one numeric value. So here the regular expression boundary is given. So this entire choice of letters and characters, symbols, numerics, everything it is given in the HTML tag. And the students has to carry out the activity. It can be a group task. You have to create a login form with the validation. There shouldn't be any empty fields. The email should be in a proper format, and the password should be in a proper length and with the syntax. You can take 10 minutes and where you can understand this. So here the email ID, once the email ID is properly verified, you may find the tick mark. And the next thing is to the real world applications, where you will find online registration. Most of the online registration forms in the website, okay, it is a validation process. And the e-commerce checkout, when you finish your online shopping, cyber shopping, no, the checkout process is also a validation. And after filling the form, the feedback what you are providing with the 5-star ratings or with some reviews, and that is also a kind of validation. And finally, the summary of this particular topic, where Java validation is to, we came to know the importance and the various types of validation and the techniques. So for the assessment, which method was most effective, and how can the validation can improve the user experience? So if you see the diagram, you can see that we have to conduct the audit regularly, focus on the content, make waiting more pleasant, and the application mobile application must be user friendly. Okay, all the content elements should be uniformly integrated, and the feedback mechanism should be incorporated, and the white spaces could be added. So all the things, keep it simple is more effective. And the final assessment questions with the simple code snippet, where you can find the difference between the client and server validation. Also, why use both HTML5 and JavaScript together, and you have to test this code snippet for the email validation. So it is given, so you can see the string pattern and system text dot regular expression match. So with this code, you can test how the validation of email ID can be tested.